Hey, this is John Fernay, the co-host of the Maryland Crabs, and I am here today with a Maryland crab cake for your listening pleasure. What's a crab cake? It's not quite a full episode, it's just a little snippet. Stay tuned and check it out. And make sure you check us out on themarylandcrabs.com. You can follow us on Twitter at MD Crabs Podcast, or find us on Facebook at the Maryland Crabs Podcast. And don't forget, subscribe, rate us, iTunes. Go there now. All right, folks, you want to experience one of the best live bands ever. Get your tickets to see Gaelic Storm at the Ram's Head on stage in Annapolis. They got two shows coming up, February 11th and 12th, both at 8 p.m. with the doors opening at 7. You know, you go to ramsheadonstage.com. And joining us today on the phone is Ryan Lacey, who has been holding down the percussion section. I guess that's a section, of the band since 2003. How are you, Ryan?
Good. I've been great. I'm happy to be on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I did say that you're one of the greatest live bands, and that's just not one of those ass-kissing lines that you may hear. And it really is. I mean, I'm a bit late to the Gaelic Storm game, but I first saw you guys at the Annapolis Irish Festival back in 2011. And that was the first Annapolis Irish Festival, I think. And,
yeah.
And really kind of fell in love with the band. And I was at some other show at the Ram's Head, and I saw that you guys had an autograph photo on one of the walls. And I was like, wow, okay, I got to see these guys like inside with slightly less beer and probably 70 degrees cooler temperatures. Ever since then, I've probably seen half a dozen shows at the Ram's Head, plus obviously all the ones that you're at the Annapolis Irish Festival. And I just really can't wait for you guys to be back, because it's always a fun time when you guys come into town.
Oh man, that's high praise. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So,
well, it is. I mean, as a fan, I know a little bit of the history of the band, but let's hear it from the horse's mouth. I mean, how and where did Gaelic Storm get started here?
They started in a pub in Santa Monica called O'Brien's. Pat and Steve, and a different combination of players back then. And they were playing basically as a bunch of expats, hanging around Los Angeles. And I think they just got together for fun, to be honest. They were playing like Irish music, traditional Irish music, and just kind of not really trying to make a go of it, just actually playing music for music's sake, which is great. And then they got the part in Titanic, the party band Under the Boat, where they're doing the big Kate and Leo are dancing together down there.
Right.
They got that, and I think they got a little taste. They're like, hey, we could try to make this work. Then they started getting a few offers to come play shows. Then the movie became, one of the biggest movies in history, and that was it. They started hitting the road. That was about 98, I think. Yeah, they just kind of gained a lot of momentum, put out a few records. At this point now, the band has 13 records total. And I joined in about 2003, and I was living in Los Angeles at the time. And I met them because I had previously lived in Ireland, and I just basically lied my way in. They're like, "You play Irish music?" I never had, but I played everything else. So I kind of snuck my way in. Yeah, but for what I do. It's like a world percussion kit. So a lot of Brazilian drumming, a lot of African drumming, a lot of Cuban drumming mixed in together with the, melding in with the Irish sound, and then, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was just, are you, I don't know whether the word classically trained is not, but I mean, have you schooled in drums and whatnot?
Yeah. I can give you a quick synopsis. I moved to Ireland for about 4 years. I was just playing music over there. So I was playing with a bunch of different combinations, and I started working for a record label. So I was going out touring with all these different singer-songwriters. So, we'd go to Europe and go to England and all over Ireland. And then I kind of I kind of hit a plateau where I just didn't feel like I had a good enough musical level the musical level that I wanted. So I decided to move back to Los Angeles. I went to a music college out there. And I got 2 degrees. I got a degree in drum set. It's like a trade school. And then I got a degree in hand percussion. So I did like a quick master's program there. And so about 6 months later, that's when I came across these guys, because they had somebody at the school had known that I'd lived in Ireland, and that was that. Basically, I got the audition, went from there.
What's kept you in Gaelic Storm for now at this point? You said you came in what, 2003, did you say?
2003. Yeah. I just think it's first of all, it's a great living. We get a really great opportunity to play music for a living. Second of all, I love the guys. We've been super close since 2003. We're basically like a mini family, and it's just a great time to be honest. I can't really see myself doing anything else at this point. I play here and there when I live in Chicago, but I play here and there with different bands. But I really do have a passion for this music and for Gaelic Storm in general. I love the vibe, love the people. That's kind of what kept me around, at least.
When you find something like that, you hold on to it.
Yeah.
You all put out 13 albums. I mean, not all of them were you, but the latest one being in 2017. And I find that all of them are really different. And I mean, it really sort of shows the evolution of the band as it's sort of moved on from the late 90s up to current, Herding Cats to Chicken Boxer. And similarly, all your shows are really different too, as well. And
yeah, we try to keep it fresh, a lot of off the cuff kind of commentary, and try to also mix the music up for ourselves and for the audience, just to keep it fresh, to be honest.
That's really refreshing, because there are some, we'll look at some classic, we'll say oldies from, maybe the 70s or the 80s that I've seen come back, and they just play the stuff that, it's not terribly, it's nice to hear, but it's not terribly exciting. It's certainly not risky. It's not edgy. It's, and I always find that you can tell when somebody's very comfortable with just, okay, well, we'll play this.
Right.
Okay, now it's time to play that. And the crowd loves this, so let's do that. And that's what I like about you guys. It's always mixed up. It's always a little bit different. And, I that's what makes you guys such a great live band.
I appreciate that. Yeah, there's a few different bands that take that approach. Well, I know there's a lot of bands that do, but notably like Pearl Jam and the Stones and bands like that don't, I think they're like, we write our set list, 20-30 minutes before each show. So Steve writes all the set lists, our guitar player, and he basically assesses the situation every day and tries to write the appropriate set list, and he does a great job. So.
And then everybody else goes, oh shit, let's figure out how to, okay.
Exactly. Every once in a while you're like, oh man, I haven't seen that one in a while. But, which is great, because, it makes you kind of crap your pants for a second, and you're good to go. So. Hey,
you know what? You're a performer. You get up there and you do it, and you figure a way to do it. I used to run a Cub Scout pack, and people always like, how do you always keep your act together so good? I said, because I never tell anybody what my act is. I said, as long
there you go.
If they don't know, they don't know the screw ups. That's
exactly. Keep it loose. Just keep it loose.
well, your lead singer, Pat Murphy, he's from Ireland, and perhaps a little known fact, or maybe not, but he is now from Annapolis, Maryland.
Yeah, he's been there for quite a while now.
Yeah. Steve is from England. Peter's a Canadian. And Katie is from Pittsburgh. I guess she's sort of the oddball there, and she probably is a Steelers fan, but we won't hold that against her. And you're from Jersey, I understand. Now, did you bring any of that Jersey attitude?
I was born in Jersey, but I grew up in Bakersfield, California.
You were born with the Jersey gene, but you got rid of it in California, and you got like that nice edge to you.
Right. Well, I don't know if Bakersfield's that nice, but we're mid, almost desert area, so we're a different kind of California, I think. So,
sure.
But yeah.
Out of curiosity, where were you born in Jersey?
Morristown.
Get out.
Morristown, New Jersey.
Get out.
Yeah, but to be honest, we moved when I was 2. So yeah. we have since toured back in New Jersey, which is kind of fun, and we played in Morristown a few times. That's so neat.
I live right. Kind of fun. I used to live right outside of Morristown in a little town called Mendham. For a long time when I was a kid. On the phone with us is Ryan Lacey, who is with Gaelic Storm. And Gaelic Storm's going to be at the Ram's Head on stage for 2 upcoming shows, February 11th and 12th. Both shows at 8, and both shows with very few tickets left. And I do mean very few. You want to go to ramsheadonstage.com, snatch them up. I've got mine. So Ryan, if our listeners are lucky enough to have some of those scored tickets, what are we going to expect at the show this time around on your Drink 'em Down tour?
Try to, like we've said before, just keeping it fresh. Just we met at the beginning of the year and decided to do about 5 new songs, a few fun covers, and hopefully we'll be able to mix those in. we don't do all the new stuff right away in each show, but we'll probably sprinkle it across the two shows, and then do some of the ones that kind of crowd favorites, and we'll try to mix it up basically. But you'll see a lot of energy, and that's kind of our MO. To be honest, we show up and try to leave it on the stage, which is great. So
true. Well, I don't know where you guys get your energy, but I mean, you guys have an incredible touring schedule, and you always have. You are always on the road, and assuredly you have what I would consider much, much more understanding than they bargained for significant others that would put up with that. And you've also put out an album about every other year. Sometimes you did it once a year. And the last one was only in 2017, Go Climb a Tree. And what's the word on the new album? You're about due.
Yeah, it's true. And good news. Steve and Pat and their old, our old band member who they've always written with, a guy named Steve Waymeyer. He was in the band at the inception, and they're getting together, and they're in the process of writing, and we are going into the studio. It looks like me and Steve are going to go put some starting tracks down in April. So we'll have something hopefully out relatively soon. We're aiming for the summer, but I'm not totally sure if that's going to hit it. But if we can get there, we'll be very excited. So we're excited.
That would be cool, man. I know you guys have been a staple at the Annapolis Irish Festival for every year, and they took a year off last year, but they're back again this year on July 18th. Do you know if your touring schedule is going to allow you to be back there again for this one, or is that too far in advance at this point?
It's a little too far at this point. I have not seen anything, but I sure hope we do.
I hope your schedule does allow you to get back here. I would love to see you both in the cooler climes of the Ram's Head on stage and also sweating my ass off out at the fairgrounds. Ryan Lacey, do you have any last words for any of the folks listening?
I'm just saying I'm excited to hit the road again. We took about 2 months off, so we're all raring to go, basically. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today. And for all of your Gaelic Storm info, you want to head to GaelicStorm.com. And for us non-Irishmen, that would be GAELIC. And you want to get a ticket or two at ramsheadonstage.com. The show's again February 11th and 12th. ramsheadonstage.com, and safe travels to everybody that's coming into Annapolis for February 11th and 12th, man. Thank you very much.
I appreciate the time, man.
This has been the Maryland Crabs podcast with Tim Hamilton and John Fernay. Sure to follow them at all the regular places, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and online at themarylandcrabs.com. Take a moment to rate us on iTunes. Now, get the hell out of my kitchen. Seriously, go!
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.